Teachers will be required to conduct their classes wearing masks, says Minister of Education Jonelle Powell and Dr. Tricia Esdale, Senior Assistant Secretary in the Ministry of Education. Both were guests on the recent edition of Issues program on Freedom FM.
I mean, as we've said, we encourage persons to wear the face mask as much as practical. As you rightfully said, sometimes it is difficult to be understood when speaking with a mask on. And so there may be instances where teachers, out of practicality, have to remove a mask in order to give instruction. But generally, we expect them to keep masks on. The classrooms will be set up in such a way so as to adhere to the social distancing, hence why we have to do some schools on shift systems. So generally speaking, the interaction doesn't change that much, with the exception of maybe a mask hanging around your neck. It's business as usual.
And in terms of masks, are the teachers responsible for bringing their own mask, or will the ministry provide masks?
Well, we would have received a certain, mask contributed, but at the same time, we still do encourage persons to have masks handy. The reality is these disposable masks are limited use. Some describe them as one-time use. I believe it has been shown that they can be used more than once. But we encourage everybody to ensure that they have adequate supplies of face masks available, whether it be in school or outside.
Dr. Esdale also disclosed that some private preschools will have to operate with less students than they previously had. She noted, however, that with the COVID-19 regulations, they must now operate at the required capacity.
Which is actually a part of the standards for early childhood, is that there is a ratio, okay, in terms of capacity. You need to ensure that the square footage per child is maintained. So what we've had is a situation in St. Kitts and Nevis whereby many of our centers, for better or for worse, have been operating outside of the standards. They have been over capacity. Now that we have COVID, we are in what I must call an unfortunate situation where we have to say to parents, my center has been over capacity by X number of children. I am reopening, but I cannot reopen over capacity. I have to get down to the appropriate number.
Meanwhile, Minister Powell addressed the issue of social distancing among students when schools reopen.
Especially when it comes to social distancing, when it comes to early childhood, there's nothing called social distancing at that age. And we accept that, the medical experts accept that, and are guiding us accordingly in that respect. It's a little different with primary and secondary school children. We expect them to be a bit more understanding, a bit more mature in thought, and so we will be hoping that not only will they carry out the protocols as needs be, but I think from when we look at society on a whole, we hope that the kids will be encouraging parents and other persons at home to also do the right thing when it comes to the COVID-19 protocols.
Public schools are expected to open on September 7th, with students returning on September 9th. Schools with large student populations will operate on a shift system. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.